Proceeds to sickbay. The doctor should look at it as soon as possible.
It is the way in which we propagate our species.
Please demonstrate how this is accomplished.
So, what's next?
I don't know.
Hi, and welcome to Casual Trek, a Star Trek recap and ranking podcast, brought to you by Nerd and Tie and the hyperfixation black hole energy. I'm going to use that as the reason why I can't stop talking to people about X-Men. I'm Charlie Etheridge Nunn. I'm a writer and a big fan of pizza.
And I'm Miles Reed-Lobato, a science fiction writer, and here's a list of the British foods that I miss that I can't get on a regular basis. A decent fish and chips. Anything from Greg's. A good sausage roll. A Whisper bar. A Whisper Gold bar.
Oh.
Jaffa cakes that aren't dry as fuck from being imported across the country. I swear, you know how they say that Guinness doesn't taste as good as it does? The further away from Dublin it gets.
Yeah.
I feel the same thing is true about Jaffa cakes. That the further afield you find your Jaffa cakes from the UK, the more they taste just dry and unenjoyable.
God, there is, like, I have a biscuit tin, and whenever we have Jaffa cakes, they're nice for a little while, but it's like having a pear. Sometimes you'll just go in and go, oh no, this is a coaster now. And I evidently need some better tin or something to preserve that. But yeah, that must be rough having them like hardened Jaffa cakes.
Yes, rich tea biscuits. The little golden golden creams, the country creams.
God, yeah, I know the kind. The like, is it Golden Crunch?
Yeah,
but yeah, that kind of.
The chocolate bourbons. The little tea biscuits.
Bourbon biscuits, yeah.
Crunchy bars. And I've told many people, okay, and then unfortunately I live in a country which then likes to make fun of British food. I'm just like, the amount of people I've told I would murder you and your best friend for a Greg's steak bake. Dead seriously. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I miss a good chunk of British food. I'm very lucky that I can get Heinz baked beans, because American baked beans use brown sugar as the base and not tomato, and they taste disgusting.
That doesn't sound good.
No, God. But the funny thing is, like, everyone I have introduced to proper Heinz baked beans has just gone, I get it now. I have a friend Jasper, who went to a music festival in England a few years ago, and they sent me a text, which I received at like 4 a.m, which just said, I just had beans on toast. I get it now. And I'm like, yes! Justification!
Wow.
I mean, I think the funnier thing is, every time I've gone back to the UK for a couple of weeks, I end up putting on more weight in that period of time than I would do in America.
God, I mean, you talk about fish and chips, it's like, oh, I love a good chippy. And as someone that's a lifelong vegetarian, like some battered halloumi and chips is just amazing.
Like, you can get a decent fish fry in this country, but it's not the same as going to a chippy. It's not the same as going up the road going like, you want a fish and chips? Yeah. And just like have like the proper chunky chips, like marinated in the vinegar, like the little wooden fork, and like, do you want the mushy peas or the pickled onion? I'm like, yes.
God, well, as someone who, on this half of it, is recording this kind of generally before dinner, I'm already horrendously hungry. So we're gonna crack on, because we're not here to talk about food entirely. We're here to talk about Star Trek and 3 different episodes of Star Trek from 3 different shows, all based around a single theme. Today's theme, we are blaming Celeste for this. They said food. some kind of story involving food. And frankly, finding an A plot with food has been difficult. So here's a bunch of episodes with food involved in some way. And yeah, before we do that though, Miles, what non-Star Trek thing have you been enjoying since we last spoke?
Hang on. What did I put down on the list? I just recently read a book which isn't about a cursed albino with a chaos sword.
Oh,
I read Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. It is a feminist retelling of Carmilla. I would also say it's more of a feminist anti-capitalist retelling of Carmilla.
these things all sound good.
Yeah, it's the kind of horror vampire elements of Carmilla are, I would say, a bit more downplayed and kind of more implied. But I feel like in the book, vampirism is kind of portrayed as a sort of feminist, become the woman is awakened not to become a vampire, but to stand up for herself and basically become a feminist, and that is the monster.
Ah, okay, cool.
It's a good read. It's not like full on horror, but there are definitely some horror elements. If you want to see a full on non feminist retelling of Carmilla, then you have Hammer's The Vampire Lovers with Ingrid Pitt and Christopher Lee. And oh my god, it was in the period when Hammer was like, well, we can't compare with the violence of American films. Let's just up the tits.
Oh, Hammer. Yeah, I think the last version of Carmilla I saw was the web series, which was good fun. It was very much of that era, but yeah, it was entertaining and it got me to actually read the story.
I still haven't read the story. I've listened to an audio play of it, which had David Tennant in it.
Oh.
Which I remember being fun. I've never actually sat down and read the book itself.
It's good. It's fairly short, but yeah, it's all right.
And Charlie, what non-Star Trek thing have you enjoyed this past week?
Well, talking of monsters and capitalism, I started watching Alien Earth, and fucking hell, it didn't need to be good. It didn't need to be this good. I liked Noah Hawley from Legion and from Fargo anyway. And while I was dubious about the idea of yet another kind of alien prequel, and it's going to be on Earth somehow before the first Alien film, it's like Noah Hawley was a draw for me. I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. Like I'm always childishly excited when something alien based happens anyway. And yeah, it's great fun. The first two episodes have, like, I'm a fan of horror. It had me genuinely squirming in the second episode. But like, no, oh god, this is uncomfortable. This is horrible. And like it's interesting because while we get a couple of different perspectives, it could have very easily spent the first episode of the first season repeating Alien again, because that's kind of the setup, an Alien the first film type situation. But the way that's presented as happening/happened is so nicely stylistically done. The way in which we see some of the protagonists and the situation they're in is great, and we get to see a bit of a corporation that isn't Weyland-Yutani, although of course they are involved.
Of course.
And yeah, there's a freakish boy child trillionaire who looks like someone like badly attempting to clone Sam Altman, and frankly, a lot of his motives are pretty much the same. So yeah, it's been good fun.
I've seen the first episode, I've got to watch the second and third episode because I'm going to be talking about it on a different podcast in a few days.
You're all right with ice stuff.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
All right,
Have fun.
fantastic. Good. All right, thank you. Trigger warning. Brilliant ice stuff. Like for the most part, I did enjoy the first episode. I feel the fact that I may have been much less enamored with we're just gonna replicate some shots from the first Alien. I think I was less charmed by that than you were.
I think like there are some moments where some of the shots and some of the music as well lines up, but the fact that it's doing some quite different bits, especially in episode 2, and the idea of going, yeah, this child who is quite powerful but still a child is going to try and go and do a Die Hard here. It's
I do worry that the Peter Pan Wendy metaphor is going to disappear up its own arse very quickly, because it's Noah Hawley. He does sometimes skirt the line of being a bit pretentious. Said the pretentious Englishman.
I think there was a lot to love in the second episode, and I'm curious to see where it's going to go. Some things that I hadn't expected to see in an Alien, and even though I know we have been a bit more merciful on Prometheus, and I think the first 50% of Covenant, it does sound like all of that's kind of being ignored anyway, which it's not needed.
I honestly, unabashedly, unironically enjoy Prometheus. Covenant, Covenant, the first time I saw it in the cinema, I left the cinema angry. Because I went into Covenant watching all the trailers going, this is going to be the dumbed down Prometheus. And I kind of got I got the dumbed down Prometheus. And B, I basically saw what happened if Ridley Scott directed a Peter Davison era Doctor Who story. And I admit, I kind of left the cinema very pissed off. On a second viewing, I did enjoy it more. But, I don't know.
I think I got disappointed with the back half because it felt like it was just trying to do an Alien again. And it's very much a film of two halves. The first half being a weird brutalist gothic horror in a kind of Pompeii ruins as Michael Fassbender tries seducing Michael Fassbender into being like a Frankenstein kind of mad scientist with all these people. I was like, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Like, again, some nicely uncomfortable moments and some horrific things, but good with that. And then it hits a point where it's like, oh, this was over quickly. And no, there's another film that feels quite different, and like they got scared and had to do Alien again.
I admit, the captain of the ship gave me like the most presentably like, oh yes, this is definitely a very true to America moment, where he hears the crew complaining about him, and his immediate reaction is, "It's because I'm religious, isn't it?" I'm like, no, it's because you're a dick, mate. Did you see Romulus?
Yes, yeah.
I definitely enjoyed Romulus more than Covenant. But also, I feel like there are some subtle winks and nods to Prometheus in Romulus that I appreciated, even though if it went straight back to the well of, yep, this is all the stuff from the Nostromo. We can never escape literally the first film.
I know. I liked most of Romulus, and I think Covenant and Prometheus should only be little nods here and there. Like the Alien RPG's actually been quite good at having nods, but not going too far with it. And any of the times that it directly quoted Aliens, any of those kind of bits, it's no. Like the fact they had to go back to do a practical effect of Ian Holm in like his get a prosthetic head instead of a jarring CGI one.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not keen on you having had him in this anyway. It feels kind of necrophilic. But,
it's one of those things. Is like you didn't need. It's not like, say, the occasional glimpses of a a very poor quality CG Tarkin in, say, Rogue One, because like that directly connects to Star Wars, where Tarkin is all over the place.
yeah.
Whereas you could have just had any synthetic and it would work just well. It's just kind of like, oh, we know him because he's from Alien, which is a shame because the kid who plays the synthetic in Romulus
So good.
is amazing. Like,
So
times
good.
he is the scariest thing in the film when he has
Easily.
that turn, when he gets upgraded and he just has look, you're like, this is not going to end well.
It's so much sadder than when Ash turns, and Ash turning is still great fun.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's sad, and he handles it well, and I am looking forward to seeing what the actor does next, because
yeah,
he was great.
yeah. Like it is some fantastic facial acting,
Yes.
which sometimes you kind of get sort of lost with all the kind of wham bam sci-fi explosion horror fun. But I think it's time for us to tangentially talk about food, but mostly talk about stuff that's not food.
Our first episode is Star Trek Voyager, Season 4, Episode 6, titled The Raven. Don't eat a raven. Probably best not to. It aired on the 8th of October 1997, teleplay by Brian Fuller, story by Brian Fuller and Harry Doc Claw, and directed by LeVar Burton, who I am increasingly loving as a director. The UK number one hit was Elton John with Candle in the Wind, 1997 / Something About the Way You Look Tonight, which I started writing that down as Something in the Way, and I would love to hear Elton John cover Something in the Way. Candle in the Wind, however, I didn't care for.
No,
No.
like for people who mercifully weren't around in England at this point of 1997, "Candle in the Wind" is the song Elton John covered to mourn the passing of Princess Diana, and oh my god,
I remember being in the comic shop and hearing it constantly on the radio.
oh my god, like I listened to this and I'm just like, I think that this song is the beginning of England being unable to ever have a normal one about the royal family ever again.
Probably, yeah.
Although I think we joked a few like last year about the idea that Elton John has like a cover of "Candle in the Wind" for all the members of the royal family, and I really want to hear his one of Charles, because it's going to be a diss track.
Yeah, and yeah, something less annoying, but I guess kind of what felt to me like the audio equivalent of white noise was Boyz II Men's 4 Seasons of Loneliness as the number one hit in the US. And we've had a couple of Boyz II Men tracks here, and while there are some boy bands of the era, I'm like, yeah, that was fine. Boyz II Men just do nothing for me.
No, but then of course we were, this is when Britpop had Britpop collapsed yet in '97, or
collapsing. I
we're
think
collapsing. Okay,
you're getting a bit more of that kind of trip hop sort of era, all of that kind of thing. And after the Blur Oasis war, there were some of your kind of your people that were Britpop or Britpop adjacent, but not them, not as big. So there were some great acts around that era, but yeah.
Okay, which was a better war, the Blur Oasis war, the Kree Skrull war, or the Avengers Defender war?
I have not read either of those Avengers storylines. I do have an extremely slow marathon whenever there's a short week on Marvel Unlimited. I scroll back in my library to every Avengers or Avengers adjacent title because they are all blind spots for me. I'm basically at like 1968 or 69 for Avengers, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Nick Fury, that lot.
I mean, the Kree Skrull War is a pretty decent storyline.
Okay.
It ends with some kind of like some Jim Starlin trippiness.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some of his standard nonsense.
Yeah, but it also has Vision getting shot down by Skrulls who have been turned into cows by
Nice.
Reed Richards right back in Fantastic Four issue 2.
Now that I've read, and that was great fun. Yes. Well, what is also great fun is some of this episode, as I will recount in a 5-minute period.
All right.
Probably more than 5 minutes, but it's the
Okay.
conceit of our challenge.
Yes. Okay, Charlie, you have 5 minutes. Yada yada yada. Obviously, if you do not, you will have to eat Neelix's cooking without a vomit bag.
Oh no.
All right, and it begins.
So, Janeway's in the holographic Leonardo da Vinci studio, getting Seven to do some human things like playing with clay. Seven finds it unproductive, and Janeway finds it quite relaxing, even if, quite frankly, she's not good at it. Seven looks at Leo's flying machine and has a sudden flash of a bird! A raven! Oh dear, she's going to go a bit Poe. It's time to go to the doctor, and Seven mentions to him about seeing disjointed images. These flashbacks? Fears? Seven says she doesn't do fear. And the doctor says, well, what she does need to do is eat. Even though this does mean dealing with Neelix, we're very sorry. We've put it off as long as we can. Janeway can't hang around with this plotline all day. She's meeting with the B'omar. Voyager's about to fly through their space, and they have so many lists of requirements. Don't look at anything, don't touch anything, don't get near their planets, don't talk to anyone. Frankly, it sounds quite sus, but they need to go through this and also are going to have to negotiate a slightly nicer route with them. Seven goes to the mess hall, and Neelix is thrilled to help out. Seven has a dull list of requirements, and Neelix has a weird kind of scrambled egg-looking steamed thing. She mentions how easily Talaxians were assimilated, which is frankly rubbish small talk, but fuck it, he's got it coming. And then after a single bite, she has a weird flash, spawns a new bit of Borg technology on her, and chokeslams Neelix into the fucking floor. Hilarious. Great scenes. Meanwhile, the negotiations are going bad, and Janeway's kind of pleased to be summoned out of the room and told Seven's gone rogue. The B'omar, however, aren't happy about a loose Borg running around on the ship. And, she's normally fine, but not right now when she's taking down security personnel, getting a gun, flying off into B'omar space in a shuttle. And they are not happy. They are tracking her down. They're going to shoot her down. Engineering start checking out Seven's cargo bay bedroom for clues, and Harry Kim's just happy to be mentioned in her diaries. The Doctor has found out how to suppress the dormant Borg homing device bits in Seven, but it's in a handy hyperspray form, and someone needs to get it to her. Tuvok and Paris volunteer to go in all sneaky-like, so they're not supposed to be running around in B'omar space, let alone doing whatever this mission's going to entail. Seven has some more flashbacks about hiding from the Borg under a table, frankly quite badly. The B'omar warn and shoot a shuttle, and Tuvok beams in. He gets nerve pinched out pretty much immediately and shoved behind a force field. And Seven actually talks, despite having been on automatic all this time. She thought she was a human for a time and is going after a homing beacon, even though there aren't any Borg in the region. At least she is feeling nice enough not to assimilate Tuvok in all of this, as an act of kindness to him and to Janeway and Voyager, which feels very human of her. She mentions her hallucinations and that they're not normally a Borg thing. Janeway has a bit of a think, hanging around in Seven's charging dock, and Harry Kim's still reading her diaries and says she mentions a bird. No, a raven. And that gives Janeway a thought. No, she's not getting a giant raven costume or anything. She instead gets Voyagers to start scanning for Federation craft. Seven sets off to find her Borgie friends, and Tuvok offers company, which she's actually kind of pleased about. Voyager calls Paris, who says, "Oh yeah, I found them. They're off at an M-class planet, and they have a bit of a walk and find a crashed Federation ship that's partially assimilated." Well, yes, it's the one in the flashbacks, and of course, it's called the Raven. Ooh. Now she has her flashbacks again, but she's a child, and she's got parents, and they're being dragged off by the Borg, and they call out to her with the name Annika. Of course, being English, my first thought was rice, but no. Her dad was apparently a scientist and somehow got all the way out to the Delta Quadrant. Yes, this will apparently be covered in a later episode. But yeah, she talks through all this, and the Bomar arrive and open fire. Tom finds Seven and Tuvok, but there's interference. And Bomar are like, this is an act of war running around here. Janeway's Janeway. She doesn't give a fuck. Tuvok, on the other hand, he and Seven run out of the ship in some frankly quite rough green screen.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Charlie.
Yeah.
Put on the Raven costume.
Oh. I mean, I've got a seagull mask up there, which could do.
Fair enough. Okay, Janeway had just told Harry to replicate a Raven costume and just dance around the cargo bay some.
Our standard ensign bullying. So yeah, see if that does anything. So,
a Raven!
Okay.
A Raven! Harry, get the costume. Yeah.
I've been waiting to use it.
So, and also, Janeway purposely had the replicator make a crap Raven costume, not even a good one.
Yeah. Well, like the way sometimes people moan about replicated food, it'll be that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The Poundland Raven costume.
Whenever they try and replicate like a costume for like a party, it's always the sexy one. And it never fits correctly.
No. It's more awkward than anything else.
Once I went into a Spirit Halloween. This was back when I still worked at Starbucks. And they had a barista costume for sale, which was basically like a green apron. And I admit, I felt very affronted, but I'm already wearing the sexy version of Starbucks. I'm already wearing, I already wear the sexy barista costume.
Oh, God. Yeah, I remember seeing one here last Halloween, and I resisted taking a photo to show you.
All right. Okay, but enough of these larks.
Yeah.
All right, okay, let's see how long you can take to finish the recap. Go.
So, Tuvok and Seven run out on some really shaky green screen as the Raven is shot apart. And, that looks impressive for 97. But yeah, they are beamed up to safety. And later on, Janeway's back in Leo's workshop. Seven's there looking at the flying machine, luckily without any kind of weird flashbacks. The doctor disabled her homing implants, and Janeway suggests maybe Seven wants to have a look at the Federation's records on her parents, find out a little bit about them. And maybe one day she will. The end.
All right, that's 37 seconds.
Hey, okay. A small amount of overrunning for me for once.
Yeah. I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. I know this is fairly early into 7 of 9 being a thing, a kind of cast member. And I forgot that there were these sort of early days where they were doing a lot of, oh yes, I am not human, she said, kind of humanly. So yeah, it was good fun with that. Although I couldn't help but find some details about it, because I loved Brian Fuller's work. I was a big fan of Dead Like Me, Wonderfuls, Pushing Daisies, and and of Hannibal. And this is exactly the kind of episode where you go, yeah, we don't often see weird symbolism in Star Trek, but between him and LeVar Burton directing, the imagery of the Raven was great fun, and nice getting a real Raven in doing it as well. So yeah, that was good fun. But Brian Fuller, being who he was freelance at the time and had actually written an entire script for this, which got rejected because it was very much, what if Seven of Nine was the Terminator, having a homing implant wake up, activate her, and her like going around, going on a killing and assimilation spree to the point where like Seven doesn't want to do this and would beg Janeway to kill her while she was murdering crew on there, and that Torres would end up having to blow her legs off. And it's like, fucking hell, Brian.
Wait. Does Torres blow off Torres's legs, or Torres blows off? Okay.
Had to blow off Seven of Nine's legs.
Okay, for some reason, when I read the notes you sent me about that, it kind of read as if B'Elanna gets her legs blown off.
That's what I thought when I first read the thing, and it's like, oh no, oh god, that's new. I mean, it's still very much a Jesus, Brian, what on earth? I want to read that script. If anyone has any leads on Brian Fuller's unpublished script for The Raven, that'd be amazing. But like, it still works really well. You know, it gives us some of the interiority of Seven, and it gives her choke slamming Neelix.
Yep,
like that just wrecks him right onto the floor. Brilliant.
I admit, like, I did like I liked Neelix teaching Seven how to eat.
Yes.
That was kind of a fun scene with Neelix teaching her how to swallow. God, that sounded wrong.
Yeah, it could have been patronizing. It could have been weirdly sexual. But actually, both Ethan Phillips and Jerry Ryan did a very good job.
It's like it's nice. It is nice to see moments with Neelix where you're just thinking you're on a watch list somewhere.
And we learned this. We've learned this with the whole Kes stuff and with the Elogium episode where he was like, yeah, I was a bad boy of space and all that until I met you, 3-year-old Kes. I liked the way in which this handled her trauma and her flashbacks, and the worry sometimes with an emotionless character is that is all they are. You know, one of my biggest disappointments with the final season of Dexter is he spent seven seasons or so telling everyone I'm an emotionless monster, very emotionally and very human. And the writers, it felt like at the very end that they were not on the same journey that we were. Oh no, he is extremely emotional, extremely human. He is extremely flawed. We're like, no, he's a sweet, precious boy who, you know, if only we could be more like this. And it's like, no, this guy's shit.
It's like some of the problems I have with the Stephen Moffat, Benedict Cumberbatch, Mark Gatiss, Sherlock, where they really try and play up Sherlock is this emotional, rational machine. It's like, but he isn't. It's like, even in the original stories, like, yes, Sherlock Holmes is overly intelligent and completely arrogantly prideful in his own abilities, but then you have Sherlock be also be like completely human. Like, many times. It's not as if like a one-time only thing. It's just like you have Sherlock going, yeah, okay, yeah, I completely misread that because I am too confident in my own abilities and completely missed the actual conclusion.
So yeah, it's I think I saw some of season 4, especially some of the early ones, to go, okay, we've got a new cast member, who's this? And I don't remember how many of these kind of okay, this is a 7 focused episode.
I remember, like, at the time, all the kind of big thing about 7 and 9 was like the sex appeal.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is like the first appearance of the non-silver catsuit she's wearing.
Yeah.
Those early
yeah,
episodes, which were all over the internet back in the day.
Yes, which that silver one always looked like it was quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while this one's got a bit of a lower neckline and is that kind of... The Federation has a lot of weird brown fabric for its non-uniforms. You know, it's often a colour which is used fairly unflatteringly, but yeah. It's getting her being a bit more human and a bit more like emotional, even if she doesn't know that yet.
Yeah.
Having her interacting with folks like, you know, with the Doctor, which is always good fun. And yeah, trying to, like, with the eating scene, it was like, oh fuck, of course, yeah. She's never had to do that before. Oh wow, okay, that's kind of fun.
I definitely liked her breakdown as she's remembering what happened to her, because it's like, it's actually one of those nice moments. I was like, Jerry Ryan, you know, she wasn't picked just for her appearance. Like, she can act.
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen her in Dark Skies before this.
I never.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I never watched. I saw like a few episodes of Dark Skies, but it was on too late.
Oh,
for me to watch. But like,
I stayed up late to watch that.
I saw like the first few episodes. I remember my thought being, this is basically the X-Files, but like not as this is like, you know, Poundland X-Files. I remember being interested by because they had like a 5-year plan, with each season being a different decade as it went up to the which would be like the first decade of the 20th century and the alien invasion. But unfortunately, it didn't get past the first season. So
yeah, I mean, that said, it was unlike the X-Files. It had more of a through line episode to episode, and the retro style of it was good fun. But yeah, ultimately, out of the two, you know, the X-Files has won out as the good one, but there were some really fun moments in Dark Skies.
I think also the X-Files kind of wins because, you know, like, it's not just all the conspiracy stuff, you know, like, I think when, you know, yes, everyone remembers the convoluted conspiracy stuff, but it's also like, yeah, remember the one with Fluke Man? Or like like Stretchy Tombs.
Oh, good old Eugene Victor Tombs.
Or like the one in the Arctic, which was the Thing, but not really, with the tiny, like, rage worms.
I saw that before seeing the Thing.
I think,
yeah, that was an odd way around to do that.
I didn't see Ice first time around. I saw, like, the one they did in the second season, which was which was ice, but in a volcano, and with like the fungus worms that burst out of your throat.
Oh yeah,
because that was awesome.
That was brilliantly unpleasant.
At the same time, you know, I think the scene in Ice where Mulder and Scully check each other for alien worms might be one of the sexiest scenes of 90s sci-fi television.
I mean, there aren't many competitors, sadly.
No. Let's see what else. Okay, I loved Tuvok and Paris on the mission, and Tuvok's like, yeah, Tom's like, Tuvok, are you sure you can take her? And Tuvok's like, I can take her. Don't worry, I can take her. Beams on the ship, taken out immediately.
Oh, yeah, poor Tuvok. He's between that and most of his security team getting clowned on by Seven, as she's like, yep, gun locker, start shooting, just knock them all down. So, fuck, yeah, they're not good at dealing with a single Borg on a mission.
Security people aren't good in Star Trek. Like, does Seven always have her force field generators? Because I remember being surprised that she has, like, because there's the point where they're shooting at her and she has like
Yeah.
the force field emitter is like, okay, does this come up or is this like a one-time thing? Because you'd think you would want to keep the shield, like, it's like, yeah, we took out all these simulatory bits, but we're keeping in the shield generator bits because that's going to be useful.
It'll be interesting to see if it pops up again. Because yeah, the crew were surprised that she had that ability. So yeah, who knows? Yeah. So before we put this on our big list, I do have, especially for this episode, a question of would you eat for food of the episode? So Neelix's Cadra Cab, which is a yellow spongy egg looking thing. It apparently includes 250 grams of glycoproteins, of which 53% are polypeptides and 26% are fibrous glycogen. And it's steamed, and it's named like both after Corn on the Cob and the Chadra Fan from Star Wars. That is all I know. So I'm not quite sure how that would taste.
I mean, yellow spongy egg looking thing. I mean, I do like scrambled eggs every so often, but they're not going to be like a regular thing. So I've tried Marmite, so I'll eat this.
Yeah, I'm a fan of egg, so
I do like egg.
Egg is good. So if it is egg, then sure. And yeah, I don't know, like steamed seems a little strange, and it looks like prepared for 7. It's quite bland, but hopefully you could put something with it.
I mean, I would eat it, but I would eat most things, except Marmite. So are you
not a fan?
No, not a fan. I've tried several times, but no.
So just to be difficult, I'm Marmite ambivalent. It's fine. A thin amount is fine. Like Marmite Walkers, I really like. Twiglets, I can have a paw full of Twiglets.
I miss Twiglets.
Yeah, they're quite nice.
I miss a lot of the crisp flavors we have back home.
Oh,
oh man, spicy prawn.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh man.
Right. Yeah.
Monster Munch. What were the KP one, which kind of looked like a flower petal? That's the one.
Yeah.
But again, we're not talking about what food Miles the fat bastard misses from back home. We should put it on the big list.
We should, and that list is currently standing at 174 items strong. Our number 1 spot is Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan. Our number 100 is Lower Decks' The Least Dangerous Game. And, of course, all the way at the bottom is Star Trek Section 31. Just yeah. So, The Raven, a very good Voyager. I think, let's see, our highest Voyager is Death Wish in position number 22.
Oh, I think Death Wish is a better one because, like, this is very much like an action / character piece.
Yeah.
Whereas I do like Death Wish discussing, like, can an omnipotent space being who is eternal be allowed the right to die?
Yeah, it's got some nice moments in it, like seeing the Q continuum and that weird stagnation of them is kind of fun.
Okay. Right. Okay. I am looking at.
Ooh.
I see you looking at Eye of the Needle, which is number 39, which is Voyager Season 1, Episode 7. When they find a wormhole, Neelix does not try to stick his dick into it. And they meet a Romulan on the other side, but there is actually a time hole as well as the wormhole.
I really liked that episode. It was good fun, and yeah, it's nice seeing a Romulan where it's like, oh yeah, they're not all just duplicitous bastards, and an interesting challenge.
Oh man, I think that one, surprising if an early first season of a Star Trek, because it seems to be feeling like those classic 90s shows. The first season is always kind of like the ropey one as they're trying to work out what is working and what isn't, and that's a pretty strong one. Beneath that, at number 40, is the very first episode of Star Trek, The Cage.
God, these are very different beasts. But yeah, I guess it's that thing of The Cage has some very nice, very classic science fiction moments, things that feel more in the world of You're Lost in Spaces and that, where this has the nice personal drama and all of that. It's like it's not as long of a journey. It's fairly simple story-wise. Like, again, I only overran by 37 seconds.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel they're both equally good in different ways. But,
yeah.
I think, honestly, I would have to say The Cage is slightly better.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the first Star Trek, so it carries that weight.
Definitely.
Even though it does feel more like you said, like a Lost in Space or like an Outer Limits kind of story. It is very self-contained.
That said, just under it, we have another Voyager, which is In the Flesh, where Chakotay goes on a date with a species 8472, which is fun, but I think this might be a bit better than that.
I think this is better.
And not just because, it's Chakotay.
It's Chakotay.
I'd rather watch a 7 of 9 episode than a Chakotay episode. Like, that is still very good fun. But, this one, it's got the depth. It's got some fun moments of Star Trek politicking with the B'omar.
Oh god, the B'omar, you can tell sometimes they're really trying to think of a decent alien design for their species, for the one-off aliens. And this one was just they're lumpy faced.
Yeah,
and the weird kind of
spit this out.
The weird kind of
again, Brian Fuller here decided to name them B'omar after the B'omar in Return of the Jedi. Brian, what are you doing?
Brian,
same with the Chadra fan reference here.
I am surprised that Brian has not been offered a Star Wars. I mean, given Brian's tendency to leave shows and Star Trek and Disney / Lucasfilm's tendencies to either not get a show to full production or to cancel a show, I feel like there'd be a good match.
Would they cancel each other out?
Okay, so are we going with The Cage, then this?
Yeah, I reckon this makes for a good episode, a good number 41 on our list. So, our second episode of the evening is Star Trek Enterprise, Season 2, Episode 9, titled Singularity. This aired on the 20th of November 2002, written by Chris Black and directed by Patrick Norris. The UK number one hit was Westlife with Unbreakable, and the US had Eminem with Lose Yourself. Both weird choices to listen to back to back. But yeah, made for a fun juxtaposition. And Eminem, skill-wise, he is good. Content-wise, he is often bad.
Yeah. It's I was never really into rap ever, because I was a dull child, and it's fine. I didn't know Westlife was still doing music like this still in this period.
Same. I assume that's Unbreakable in the kind of mission accomplished type of way of we're unbreakable, we'll never break up, and then
they broke up. Yeah.
But yeah, with Eminem, I remember getting a CD on discount from a music shop in Kensington Gardens because the person that was serving me there was like, "Do you get North Lane Trader discount?" And it's basically a made-up thing that happened a lot through there. That every like low-level shop worker around the streets there would be like, yeah, buying video games. So yeah, did Dave's do a North Lane Traders discount? It's like, does your place do a North Lane Traders discount? And there was one DVD place, Blackout, that years later still would give me a discount for buying like weird indie movies on DVD there. And it's like, oh, okay. I should probably admit that I haven't worked for Dave's for a decade now.
No. Always said it's lifetime. It's lifetime.
Of course. But yeah, I picked up his first album only to realise I'd got the censored one and had to go back and get it changed. Because, yeah, that was rough. But what won't be rough is your 5-minute recap of an actually alright episode of Enterprise. Starting, and now.
The Enterprise is approaching a black hole. The crew is unconscious except for T'Pol. She sent out a distress signal, but she doubts they'll find nothing but debris when they arrive. 2 days earlier. Enterprise discovers the black hole is part of a trinary star system. They're 2 days away. So, Trip, can you fix the captain's chair? Trip really wants to purge the manifold, but chair first, apparently. Next morning, T'Pol tells Archer that the chef is ill, and so Sato is taken over the galley. Archer is more concerned with trying to write the preface of a biography of his dad. Meanwhile, look, Sato knows that they were planning fried chicken for dinner, but we're gonna cook Sato's family meal from scratch. Travis heads down to sickbay with a headache, but Phlox is worried that it could actually be anything, so Travis better stay in sickbay for a while. Trip is trying to fix the captain's chair with a fucking space dentist drill. But hey, captain's orders. Malcolm wants to upgrade the ship's emergency system to something a bit more red alerty. They're not a battleship, but they need to improve given how many times people have got the drop on them in like a season and a half. Archer is working on the foreword for his dad's biography, but Porthos wants noms. No noms, Porthos. Archer is too caught up in his writing. But don't worry, Porthos. You're a good doggo. A real true unit. T'Pol is the only one who seems to be acting normally. The black hole is emitting strange radiation. T'Pol needs help from Trip with the radiation. But the chair is important, goddammit! T'Pol starts to suspect something is up. Travis wants to leave sickbay, but Phlox knocks him out and ties him down. This is, I have my medical fetishes, but this is not one of them. Malcolm has some prototype red alert sounds for Trip, and they all sound like the fucking Crazy Frog theme, to be honest. Sato is more focused on getting the meal just right, and the crew is not being fed. I am feeling just as awkward watching this as I do most episodes of The Office. Malcolm is issuing command codes to the crew in case of shapeshifters. Oh, and he's packing heat now. He's acting more twitchy and British than usual, and T'Pol has finally picked up that the rest of the crew is getting obsessed with trivial matters. Trip has utterly dismantled Archer's chair. Meanwhile, Archer wants Trip to read 19 pages worth of preface. After watching Sato and Archer nearly come to blows about food, T'Pol finally twigs. Oh, they're not meant to be acting like this. Trip and Malcolm do come to blows, until Archer decides to blow both of them. Nope, fuck it, I'm keeping that in the recap. T'Pol reports to Archer of her suspicions, but Archer fobs her off to work on his real person fanfic on how good his dad is. Going to Phlox, T'Pol finds him about to cut Travis's brain open, and what the hell, man? T'Pol nerves pinches Phlox, but the chemical imbalance that he found in Travis's brain is given T'Pol a lead. Man, I really hope the radiation didn't affect anyone when they're off to have a sly off-duty wank, because that's probably got uncomfortable really quickly. The crew, apart from T'Pol, have all collapsed, and the radiation is spreading too far for the ship to get to safety, except for one way. T'Pol will have to chart a path through the trinary stars themselves. putting them dangerously close to the Singularity. T'Pol grabs Archer and sticks him in the shower to try and snap him back to sanity. With Travis sedated, Archer's the only one up to the task, with only a cold shower and bad coffee to keep him upright. With T'Pol charting the course through the debris and gravitational field, Archer is flying through the Singularity. There's some large debris, but the phase cannons are already ready thanks to Malcolm's obsession with being ready for an emergency. They've made it through, and the day is saved! Yay! Archer tells Malcolm that the security protocols were great in a crisis, but he needs to change the alarm. Meet the new chair! Same as the old chair, except it's 1 centimeter lower. And Archer once more asks T'Pol to look over his finished foreword. And I'm sure the chef got better. They never actually finished that plotline. The end.
Hey, with 28 seconds to spare. Amazing. Yeah, I did realise partway through the episode, like, we're never meeting this chef, are we?
No. You know he'll be played by by our boy Jeff Combs.
Oh, I'd love that. I mean, I know he's got a role in Enterprise anyway, but you know, I'm sure he'd be up for more.
Man, what if the chef was? They actually just got in like a Star Trek alumni to just like wear a bad beard and just play a chef with a weird accent.
Yeah, just uncommented on.
Yeah, like Brett Spiner. It's another fucking Soong, but it's a Soong who went into catering instead of like cybernetics. So it's basically Brent Spiner, like with like a little handlebar mustache, doing like his Eastern European accent.
Oh god, I say that. Just having a quick look online, of course. Yeah, they even make a thing of how he's not actually seen, and that is Riker in the finale when in their whole "it's all a holodeck" thing. So we were on the right track. As it turns out.
Fair enough.
Just careful of that monkey's paw.
Okay, I need to make one comment.
Okay.
The concept of a red alert has been around since World War II.
Yeah.
So Malcolm is not reinventing the wheel here.
What with his read alert?
Oh my fucking god! I mean. Okay, I wish I'd kept that. That'd be kind of funny.
What? Just for the entire rest of the show, like Mavity.
Like Mavity.
Like at some point between Enterprise and Star Trek: The Original Series, they changed it to Red Alert. But what if we put some red lighting in it as well?
Look, we have already equated Malcolm to Arnold Judas Rimmer from Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
So I can see Rimmer having a Rimmer alert.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that is very much his style. I liked this. I felt uncomfortably seen.
Yeah, same. I was watching this one first thing this morning, and when my wife Rihanna woke up to get ready for work, I was like, "Hey, so I'm watching this episode of Star Trek Enterprise. Space radiation is making the crew dangerously hyperfixate on their hyperfocuses, and I'm feeling called out right now."
Yeah. God. So I started the episode going, okay, when do you start seeing them getting obsessed? Because a lot of them, you know, if this was Discovery, you'd just never know. The way they're all just type A nerds there. Like, here at least, because you got a little bit of that space good old boy kind of thing. It's like, yeah, Trip would be, like, dedicated to sorting this out, but not without having some fun and goofing off slightly with it. You know, he has a bit of a go at T'Pol for moaning about the noise he's making. So, yeah, this is just standard.
Yeah.
You know, just regular old Trip. But, yeah, it takes a turn.
I mean, like, the chair subplot, it just, like, honestly, again, that felt like a Red Dwarf episode waiting to happen.
Yes. Yeah, it felt like Connor Trenier was having a lot of fun. And there have been a few, like the one where it's on the weird Farscape ship, where you go like, I can see the actor is having some fun with this. You know, with just losing his shit about a chair.
It's like,
you get to play with the props and get into it.
I am going to be insane about a chair. All right, wait, hang on. I get to get crazy about a chair. Right, got it.
Yeah, great fun. Archer, on the other hand, it's like, fuck, man, no, don't
No.
stick to captaining. This is a terrible introduction, even at the very start of it, going, oh yeah, I've got to go through his entire life. No, you're writing a preface to a thing about his life. You do not need to do a massive biography.
Archer, never ask your co-worker, take it from me, never ask your co-workers to read your novel.
Oh god, I had that happen.
Unless they're part of, a prearranged, writers group.
Yeah, so I had a colleague who I would talk about some nerd shit with occasionally. He was a very anime person. He was also not the best worker. As someone that would, not in a... Sometimes people give you the bare minimum and you're like, I respect that. Come on, give us nothing. But the bad but unwilling to learn to be good. And at one point it was like, you write, don't you? It's like, yes. It's like, I've got a couple of chapters of a draft of something. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I admit, luckily lockdown happened. And it was a couple of years until we spoke in person again. And he was like, did you have a look at that? Fuck.
Look, okay.
I need to do this. And if somehow Tech War was more divorced, that is what it was. It was literally reading Tech War afterwards. I was like, oh no, this is what he made. And someone else ended up reading the whole thing, and I felt very sorry for it.
Long ago, when I became a supervisor at Starbucks, I implemented I do not add immediate co-workers to my social media, and I do not read co-workers unless, again, part of a prearranged writers group. But by that point, the nerd jock ratio at Starbucks had shifted, so all the nerds, didn't stop getting jobs at Starbucks. But it's just it's that case of I am your coworker and your boss. I do not want to read your novel.
Yeah. It's always the fear, and sometimes you go okay, yeah, you are a friend, or we're part of a writing group. That's fine, but when it's one of the out of the blue ones, that's worrying.
It's like no offense to you as a role play, as a gamer, it's like people's gaming stories.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm like, I don't care how cool your dice roll is for your level 25 drow bard. The white noise is just going to descend in front of my eyes.
Man, as someone that worked in comic retail and introduced role-playing games to that shop as a revenue stream, as a way of making money, and I had a lot of people tell me about their characters. Back in the 90s and early aughts, a lot of it was Rimmer talking about a risk game. And I don't give a shit about what people roll, but sometimes... these days, I'm a lot more favourable towards tell me a story about your character. Tell me how it felt for a thing to happen. One of the kind of benched because a mortal life is only so long things that I'd love to do is an interview series of asking game designers about their character, about a character that stuck out. And it's that thing of, I used to hate this and ban it. But actually, sometimes, a nice little anecdote, keep it short and sweet. I don't need to know what level they were. I don't need any of that shit. But yeah, it's a tricky art, that. But yeah, looking at my notes here, seeing the original dinner menu, I noticed that they had French fries, because... they were just before freedom fries became a thing. And I'd hope that they didn't do they wouldn't have done freedom fries, but it was certainly of an era, and it's once again I like the physicality of this world. Like the kitchen is a definite kitchen, and it feels more industrial and busy than Neelix's one. It's the props, all of the chair shit looks good.
Well, there's also there's clearly the guy Cunningham who is like the sous chef or whatever. Where it's like, okay, because how does clearly Neelix has too much time in his hands, only sleeps like 1 hour a day, to get all this food, which actually might explain a lot. Neelix just might be tweaking through the entire show.
Oh God, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, that said, actually think about it. There isn't much of a difference between crew. Both are sub 100 people, so yeah. But yeah, or maybe Neelix just, they're in an age of replicators, so a lot of people are like, no, never mind, mate.
Yeah, but also
I've eaten at Neelix's once.
But also, apparently, the replicators had to be kept rationed because of the ship's supplies, which stops being. So, do you think that there's a dispensary on the Enterprise? Like they have a tuck shop.
Oh, that'd be great.
To just
buy, no money, but at the same time going, how much sugar have you had though?
Malcolm, you need to stop having all those cups of coffee.
Exactly. Oh God, yeah. If there's a man who's probably having too much coffee, it's going to be Malcolm Reed. Mm-hmm. And I know this is an Englishman in an American TV show, so it will end up being tea. But that is a man on too much coffee. I say as someone who has had to cut down on the coffee intake in the last year. So yeah. It was good fun though. And would you eat Hoshi's Oden? Now this is a Japanese soup consisting of potatoes, carrots, daikon, which is large radish, hard-boiled eggs, konnyaku, and grilled tofu, and kamaboko, which looked like the only non-vegetarian part of it. Which, frankly, if that was substituted for something, there's already grilled tofu in it. I'd probably give it a go.
I mean, Rihanna likes her ramen and likes her Japanese food, so I would actually eat it. I'm generally not like
soup guy, but yeah.
I'm also not like generally a soup guy. But if that's what's on the menu, that's what I'm eating.
Yeah. I'd be curious how it goes, but yeah. So well done. Like I'd probably pick this over the weird spongy egg-looking steamed thing.
I would probably take the lamb beef and the soy fondue as was the original menu. But I would take the soup. Okay, so the fact that Phlox went full horror monster.
Oh my God!
But was still being his normal genial nice self was kind of
I swear, he is. I had a thought early on in watching Phlox in Enterprise of going, he is what if Neelix was Hank McCoy? And yes, this continues. Oh yeah, you're a Neelix, but a fucking mad scientist. A gleefully mad scientist.
The point when T'Pol walks in and he's got he's ready for some gore. He's basically 2 steps away from getting the bone saw and the circular saw, and just going, T'Pol, you can help me. There are some overalls over there. Be warned, every zone is a splash zone.
Yeah, I thought that Mayweather was going to be the one who was affected and would be psychosomatic or something, but it was delightfully awful what went on with Phlox. And when T'Pol left, I was like, we didn't see a resolution to this. Is she just yes, if I'm fast enough, then it won't matter? And it's a throwaway line that she pinched out Phlox, which good. Good, because if she just left and went one crew member, like there's 82 others, it's fine.
She,
Um,
she walked.
God.
She walked out, made it like 20 feet down the corridor, and went, "Shit! I should put a stop to this. Turn back around."
Yeah, wait. Actually, a life could be lost here.
Wait. She's thinking. So Phlox has completely lost the plot. Oh wait, that's bad.
Yeah. If it was just an arm or a leg, no big deal.
I admit, I kind of feel I feel like they missed the trick by like they said they hand waved by going, "Oh, Travis is unconscious."
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, I get that you want to have like the main character be the one, but it's just like, come on, Travis gets so little to do in the show anyway. Couldn't we just like contrive some? Okay, we're gonna put him through. We're gonna just pump him up with space amphetamines and have him pilot the ship.
Yeah. I've not seen many like A or even B plots with him doing much stuff. And in episodes like this, where he's fairly like his youth and naivete are shown up, makes him feel like the Harry Kim of the show. And I do imagine that he'll wake up and just like if Phlox is unconscious and he wakes up strapped to a bed, it's like okay, they're just screaming through the corridors.
Okay,
Like,
okay, so that's definitely an HR meeting.
yeah.
There's
Hopefully they have HR back then. Like they got rid of it at some point, and I'm like, it's probably fine.
just sit down and like okay, like Archer has to sit down. Phlox and Travis goes, okay, now Travis, it was radiation.
God, I mean, would you ever go to the doctor again after that?
I don't know. I feel like if you did, Travis would never let him forget it. Like he comes in for like a broken thumb, and he says like, "You're not gonna cut my brain open again, are you?" No. Okay, so got a question for you.
Yeah.
What hyperfixation would you like to have gotten because of space radiation?
Would I have liked?
Yes.
God, that's a tricky one because I know it would like as someone that's put an ungodly amount of time in Vampire Survivors.
It's a 2-part question.
Oh God. Okay, so it's so rare that I exercise enough. The one I would like would be either like going on a nice long walk or hitting the exercise bike up.
Okay. That honestly, same answer. Part 2 of the question. What do you know you'll end up being hyperfixated with when the space radiation hits?
It would probably be futzing with my spreadsheet of every X-Men comic from my marathon read through because I do that often enough, and I could see myself getting right down to stupid levels of granularity with it. I already have who the inker and letterer was on every comic that's on that list that I've been gradually filling in. Like, it would get filled in, which, yay, but also, it's pointless. It is utterly pointless, and I would go to some stupid level with it.
I think I would end up just binging the TV show Earth Final Conflict.
Huh?
I think, like, I don't know, I just, every so often, like, every 6 months or so, I get just, on a day off, when I don't have to record, and I have the apartment to myself, sometimes I just end up start binging, like, a mid-90s SF show, which I keep meaning to get back to, but never do. And knowing my luck, it's going to be either Earth Final Conflict, or fucking Andromeda with Kevin fucking Sorbo.
Okay, I was wondering whether you'd have said, like, Lex.
No, because Lex would be a fun show to get hyperfixated on, because Lex is a very fun and sexy show. So knowing my luck, it would be like Andromeda, the Hercules in space knockoff.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, okay.
So,
And
yeah.
where will this go on our list? Uh is it better or worse than the Raven, I guess, for starters?
I I might have to say yes, because there's enough individual moving parts, like
Hmm.
of the various different hyper focuses, that make it almost kind of entertaining until it goes to, oh yeah, Phlox is just gonna start doing lobotomies on people.
Yeah, yeah.
And like
Okay.
the and then Trip getting obsessed with making sure the captain's chair is just right. And all the different things like the screens, the I never thought there would be a moment in a Star Trek show when the engineer goes, "Do you think the captain's chair should have a cup holder?" And the security officer goes, "I don't give a shit about cup holders." And so it might be novel entertaining enough for that.
Yeah, yeah. It was so good for that. Okay. Um right. Well, a couple of episodes up in number 37 we've got Family Business, which is both drama and a bit of comedy as well, which, like as serious as the threat is here, I'd say it
Like
suitably balances
it's balanced
the
out.
humor and
It's balanced that it never tips into full comedic. And
yes, it doesn't go
I
fast.
wonder if there was a draft where it was a full out comedy, and that would be terrible. Because
Yeah.
I think what makes this work is that the various actors aren't, as you said before, whenever Star Trek tries to do comedy, it tends to go wacky.
Yeah.
And like you have the characters who, for the most part, are trained, qualified professionals having to act like idiots for 45 minutes. And this one, the actors are never playing it for comedy, even though it could easily be a comedic beat. Like for all
Yeah.
the gags about Trip wanting to like pimp up Captain Archer's space seat, at no point is he kind of like walking into the room like Kramer.
Yeah. Okay. So, better or worse than Family Business?
I mean, they're both awkward in different ways.
They are. They
But
are.
I think Family Business is better because, oh my god, it is great to see. It is, again, we got some Jeffrey Combs, but also it is always great to see Quark like get to bounce off his family. And anytime Rom is clearly smarter than he looked and Quark has completely underestimated him is always fun to see.
Oh god, yeah. Okay, under that in 38 we've got Pegasus, where John Locke is going a bit rogue. Oh, good old John Locke.
Good old John Locke. God, what do you think?
I think this is probably better than Pegasus. At some point, I might revisit Pegasus, given its height here, and go, why did we love it? I can barely remember it whenever we
Yeah,
talk about it.
I
And
I know we've discussed that, but I think your partner Emma quite rightfully shut us down because would end up that would be our hyper focus. Would both end up
lots.
watching Star Trek each episode we've already watched to
Oh
reevaluate
god.
where it goes in the list.
Yes, yeah, a re-ranking. Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
But yes.
See,
Yeah.
what we need is someone to do a spin-off podcast, which is casual Trek,
Oh,
where
that'd
they're
be
putting
great.
all of casual Trek and re-ranking on a list of best to worst.
Ideally, some people that have never seen Star Trek before.
What we
Just listen to the show. So, that sounds like it's our new number 38, which, sound the alarm, an Enterprise episode has entered the top 50.
it's happened.
Oh
It's
my
finally
god, they said it
happened.
couldn't be done. Oh, Kalukale. Oh, yes. Right. Amazing. And on that note, we need to go somewhere which also never graces the top 50 for our third episode. And that is Picard.
What a fucking donut.
Oh yes, we're back to that well. Specifically, we are at Picard Season 1, Episode 7, titled Nepenthe. This aired on the 5th of March 2020, written by Samantha Humphrey and Michael Chabon, directed by Doug Arniakowski. The UK number one hit was Billie Eilish with the Bond theme tune, No Time to Die, and US with Roddy Ricch and The Box. Now, I'm more of a James Bond fan than you, despite the many, many faults that James Bond has. This felt like it was neither a Bond-style, brassy, like Shirley Bassey influenced kind of thing, or a kind of the moment Wings or Duran Duran or even Garbage kind of thing. Or Billie Eilish. Like, it was fine, but not...
Like, I think I might like... Okay, I hate the Bond films in James Bond, but I do have this weird Kieran Gillen obsession with the Bond songs, because I always feel like the Bond songs are this interesting kind of snapshot of the music of that time. Best Bond song, Live and Let Die by Wings, in my personal opinion.
It is very good.
And I'll be honest, the idea of Billie Eilish doing a Bond song is novel enough for me to go, this is actually I kind of enjoy this.
It's alright. I think my main criticism is it just doesn't feel enough. Like, either enough Bond song or enough Billie Eilish song. But it's alright. The Craig era felt like it had a lot of those kind of performances of people of the moment, you know, like your Sam Smith, and we've already covered their track, which was not good, and Adele, which again I think we covered, and it's all right. Like, she's got the pipes for it.
But is at the same time you're like, but Duran Duran, fucking love View to a Kill. Like, View to a Kill, but at the same time you're okay. Duran Duran, that is the most kind of like, the only way you could be more 80s was if you got like Adamant to do a Bond song. Which
I would love that.
You know, that'd be fucking amazing. Look, look, you and I both know that secretly deep down we're both grumpy that the Mountain Goats will probably never do a Bond song.
It'd be interesting.
I mean, or like, okay, fine. You know what? Patti Smith. Patti Smith did a fucking song for the second Hunger Games movie. So, like, I would want to see Patti Smith do a Bond song.
Oh, that'd be fun. But what is moderately fun? I don't know. Will be my recap of Nepenthe.
That just shows how much we cared about the box.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Moving on.
All right. You got 5 minutes, or your pizza's free.
Ooh.
And go.
So, previously, listen to our episode where we talked about the impossible box. Some of the crew are trapped on a reclaimed bog cube, and an incesty pair of Romulans are hunting them down. Picard and Soji head for a weird teleportation door onto Nepenthe, whatever that is. We start on a beach 3 weeks ago. Jurati is confronted by Commander O from Starfleet Security. She notes Picard's going rogue because it's JL and wants a plant on the operation. She gives Jurati a Terminator 2 style apocalyptic dream sequence for what happens if the robots win, and has her eat a tracking device in handy new chewable form. In the present, even though they don't have a caption to say that, in space, La Sirena is shaking. Rios and Raffi are shouting in that way that all ragtag crews are supposed to do, apparently. They're stuck thanks to a tractor beam from the cube, and Jurati suggests why not just ask to be let go? They've not got Picard, they've not got Soji, they're fine. Everyone also forgot that Elnor is still on the Borg cube, so when they're let go, they suddenly realise this, call him, and he's like, go on, I'm going to Metal Gear Solid this place. And Narek follows them stealthily. On the cube, Narissa Rizzo, yes, like the rat, executes all of the ex-Borg apart from Hugh. And anyway, now we're on to the bit everyone wants to hear about, and not just the weird horned rabbits. It's Nepenthe. It's a planet which looks a bit nice, bit Mediterranean in some places. Picard and Soji walk through the teleportation door, and they're confronted by a kid looking like one of the Lost Boys. She's called Kestra, and Picard knows her parents. We keep veiled who they are, although we all know. Kestra shows her broken compass to Soji and asks who she is, and when Picard offhandedly mentions, oh yeah, her dad's Commander Data, Soji has an existential breakdown. She's not had enough time to fully process this whole thing about how, her life is basically a lie. At the farm, after a bit of lens flare, we see Deanna Troi tending a garden. She senses Picard's in trouble, so, her powers are still in good nick, and gives him a hug, and my word, when they hug, his face looks so old. Anyway, Riker's there, grating some hard cheese and listening to jazz. He hugs Picard, and fucking hell, he looks like a giant. Also, as a man losing his hair, I couldn't help but keep noticing the bits that are kind of missing in his haircut as well. Anyway, away from there, Kestra asks Soji about the whole being a robot thing, and it's nice. It kind of normalizes it a little. Troi talks to JL about her late son. No, not the cosmic entity from The Child. Different one. This one's Thaddeus Troy Riker, who would have been 18, and they've still got a lot of his things up. It's obviously the event that's broken the family a bit and caused them to retreat from life to this farm in the middle of nowhere. JL says, don't worry, I won't put you in danger this time. On La Sirena, someone's tailing them, and Jurati suggests we could just bail on the mission, And Raffi senses Jurati's incoming panic attack, takes her away for some cake. Rios mentions Picard's a paying client, which feels jarring in this post-scarcity society, again in Picard. Riker's having a lot of fun with his pizza oven, and he mentions the regenerative properties of the soil here, which is why they came here with Thad. Soji has learnt Thad and Kestra's made-up language almost instantly with her Johnny Five type powers. Given Soji's existential crisis, Troi actually reassures her a little, saying, actually, natural things isn't all that. Because the ban on synths, they couldn't clone the, synthesoid bits that were needed to fix Thad when he got ill. So, fuck, basically. Troi also gives Picard one of those, you're the main character, do what you were going to do speeches, and Riker burns a tomato. Hugh and Elnor try to escape and are found by Narissa Rizzo, and she throws a knife into Hugh's throat and leaves. He is luckily not killed in the throat bad enough to be unable to tell Elnor how to get away. And he runs off and activates a special emergency Fenris keyring. Raffi replicates...
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
You will have to pay for your pizza. And man, it's not you brought up that, man. Troi has 2 dead sons.
Yep. Yeah, she does. Yeah, it's been a weird life for her.
Especially with that mother of hers.
I mean, that's the thing. We don't hear how her mother's doing. I assume she is still incorrigible. Probably heading up Betazoid intelligence, given the Betazoid MILFs from Lower Decks.
Look, you know that Picard has a strict, I do not want to hear how your mother's doing.
True. So, I mean, admittedly, it's been 20-odd years, so maybe it's she's dead. It's of course. How did she go? Fucking? It's yeah, good. It's how she would have wanted.
Died under a mountain of flesh. Good.
Exactly.
Right, okay, I'm starting the timer. And, right, continue.
Yeah, so, Raffi, I forgot she was all, recovering alcoholic and a little shaky. So she's kind of latched onto Jurati the same way that she will to Elnor, and is being very nurturing and caring. She replicates some red velvet cake and some chocolate milk for Jurati, who breaks down at the kindness and then throws up. Luckily, red velvet, not blood, although it looks rough. And yeah, Riker's dealing out pizza to people, and JL's not heard anything from La Sirena because he doesn't know that they're busy trying to shake a tail. JL's happy to have a mission again, and no one can stop him. And Troy and Riker give a look that says, "That's our JL, such a rogue." Soji describes the place that she saw in visions in the Impossible Box. And while Kestra is on her phone at the dinner table, and that's not polite, she actually is quite helpful with it as she texts an old captain mate from around the planet somewhere who explains, yeah, it's this planet. Good, there's the next plot point. Rios has boiled down the point to why they're being tailed. Someone's let on. He believes it's Raffi, though. So, a swing and a miss. Jurati tries to confess, but is not buying it, and gets called away. Jurati takes the time to 3D print a hyperspray, injects herself with something, starts foaming and goes into a coma, saved only by Rios's EMH version of himself. Narek, I assume also Narek Rizzo, is playing with his grey, boring-looking fidget toy when he loses the signal and starts to get a bit peeved about it. JL and Riker have a nice walk and talk over a morning coffee. How's the new crew? Well, they're a bunch of ragtag rogues. They keep shouting at each other. They do have character depth from the off, though, unlike that whole Enterprise D crew. Ho ho ho. Riker mentions that he's on active reserve, able to be called in if the fans like and if they pay enough. Soji is having a bit of a lie-in while Kestra's sketching her. Not in a weird way, mind. Kestra kind of likes having another kid around, even if she is an adult kid. And, there's obviously that missing sibling thing going on. Kestra mentions that, Soji could have JL as a dad if they both wanted and accepted that kind of thing, which, given the way both of them are, might be nice. They go to leave, and Kestra gives Soji a broken compass. It'll lead you home. You just have to pretend it works. Just like family. Aww. They beam off, and we get a little TNG musical sting at the end, which I thought was subtle, and then more of it happened. The end.
3 minutes and 7 seconds.
Okay, I thought I'd go under originally, but no. There was a lot while still being decompressed enough that there wasn't. But, you can't cover stuff.
You know what musical sting would have been great to end this episode with?
Hmm?
Drive by the Cars. Because a broken compass is going to take you home.
Hey. I wasn't sure where Kestra was going originally with the broken compass thing at the start. And at the end, I was like, it's heavy-handed, but I'll take it.
Yep.
Fine.
First off, R.I.P. Hugh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah. Hugh dies.
Oh, no, I did mention he got killed. Yeah, It was quick.
Press F to pay respects.
Yeah, I watched this not having seen any episodes with Hugh Borg in them. But, it is a bit sad. It's, much later than a kind of appearance for me to go, oh yeah, that's really sad, that guy from 3 episodes. But poor Hugh.
It's it's nice. It was nice when he popped up in the Impossible, popped up throughout the show, and especially in the Impossible Box. And I really wish we could have seen more of his dynamic with Elnor, because God knows Elnor needs a friend.
He does. He needs just something to not appear like a kind of rubbish Lord of the Rings elf, who's going to he's someone's D&D character that got in a sci-fi campaign.
Pretty much. I think this might be. It feels we never go to Picard often, and whenever we do, we end up going, it's Picard. But I feel like this might have been the strongest episode of Picard we've seen so far.
It's definitely the strongest of season 1. I remember really enjoying it and thinking, what I wanted out of season 1 of Picard was Jean-Luc Picard in his vineyard, having a bit of a cozy-ish nice time, and then going to going to Nepenthe, visiting the old haunts, make it a cozy Murder, She Wrote type thing, but Star Trek.
I mean, that would be great.
It doesn't even have to be a murder mystery, just
Yeah.
gentle science fiction kind of things in these little places where he's going to eat a pizza.
I mean, oh God, I really like seeing Troy and Riker. Apparently, this has been the first time Jonathan Frakes had acted in a long time, because he mostly focused on his directing career.
Of course.
And apparently, like, he had a full-on like anxiety attack on the first day because he wasn't sure he could pull it off. But I think both he and Troy, although the fact that Troy has gone full British was really was distracting.
Yeah, you wonder what happened to do that, because sometimes you get people that adapt quite a bit to somewhere they've been. So were they on a British spaceship for a while, or is Nepenthe just like this? And Riker is just going to be his nice big booming kind of self, and then Troy just adapted to, what is it? Not Infinity Lake, the nearby settlement where there's the old man captain that was texting with Kestra.
Maybe like her. Maybe that all the time we were just hearing her, like her work voice, her customer service voice, and then like this is just her when she's off the clock, and just like, God fucking damn it, Will.
Look, I'm retired. I'm not going to put on that voice anymore.
No.
I know you like it, but it's that thing of trying to divorce it is lovely to see these people again, and is this good for the story? Like, it's a nice detour. There are a lot of the inevitable kind of conversations of the thing that you're feeling conflicted about doing that you were doing. You should do that.
You should do the thing.
Because you're the protagonist, guy. You're the chosen one. And any of the attitudes, like, it was nice seeing them interact, even if there were some very rote bits of dialogue amongst the kind of the tinge of sadness and the kind of slight impishness that you'd see in Patrick Stewart's face. It's like this shorter, older man that's a bit kind of like...
Yeah, one of the things I definitely like about Riker when he turns up in Picard is that he's just like, yep, I'm old and I'm retired and promoted enough that I do not have to tolerate any of Picard's bullshit. I can just call him out and make fun of him straight to his face.
Yeah, that feels both very Jonathan Frakes and very Riker.
Yeah.
Because, Riker would be like that off the clock.
Like,
and it's one of those interesting things going, actually, in season 3 of Picard, he kind of scrubs up well, given how, he looks like he's not acted in a while. And, he's like me, he's got the missing patches of hair. He's just grown it longer, and it looks better than mine, but that's not difficult. But this guy's got older, but he's very jolly.
Yeah,
which is good. He'd be a good Santa. Actually,
he'd be a very great Father Christmas. I admit, like, the stuff about Thad and Kestra, there is sometimes I do have an issue with like these kind of legacy sequels when it's like been 20 years later, and sometimes I have it's a very difficult juggling act where it is nothing has changed with these characters in 20 years, and it's just like, we turned off all the lights and we turn them back on, and it's just like they're slightly older, they're slightly more grizzled, which I feel sometimes is how some of the characters come off in the Star Trek films, where it's like, Sulu has gone off and started having his own career, but everyone else has just kind of stayed on the end to get away from Shatner. But everyone else has just kind of stayed on the ship and just kind of doing the same shit, but they're all now a lot grey and heavier than they were.
Yeah. People talk about Harry Kim never getting kind of promotion or anything, but you go like, oh yeah, you've got some old men at the helm. Why are they not, like, they may have got promotions, but they're still doing the same job,
or like
that's what they were doing,
or like the Roger Moore James Bond in quite literally A View to a Kill, when he is far too old and to be doing this job.
Oh, that man will run for nobody.
Yeah. or you know, or you just have that kind of, oh, they've had a tragic life and it was all kind of better back in the day, which I feel like this, like, I feel like Riker and Troy kind of avoid that despite the dead kid, because they, as Troy says, every day it hurts, but every day the hurt heals. And they seem happy with the life they have built for themselves, even if it has come out of these very tragic circumstances. Not like Han and Leia in The Force Awakens, when it's kind of, yeah, it never worked out, their kid went evil, and Han went back to doing what he was doing. But at the same time, I feel like when Han Solo turns up in The Force Awakens and he's doing the shit he was doing back before Star Wars, we're meant to actually find it sad and pathetic. That he's just fallen back on like his bad habits. And I'm still saying that Chewbacca in Episode 7, like Riker with Picard, he is done with Han Solo's bullshit, and everything he's saying is basically, it'd be great if you called your wife and sorted this out. It's like, okay, great, so we're getting rafters. Okay, fine. But it'd be better than collecting rafters if you phoned your wife.
I definitely feel that kind of sense with it. Like, we get this as well with Geordie in season 3 of like, he runs a museum, he's got a couple of daughters, they're off doing stuff. It's like, cool, okay, you've been living a life. It's not people trapped in a holding pattern or relentless misery. With Gilmore Girls, I found the oddness of when Rory Gilmore has to return home, and it is that, oh no, this gifted child has burnt out and not done anything. It creates that reset button while also going, never quite, what we ended on the high note of never quite worked out. Admittedly, I think that was her going with the press to go on the Obama campaign circuit, which in 2020 strikes a bit differently. But it's tricky. With this, it feels like the trauma has caused a bit of a cocoon, because far too often, mainly in American shows, you do get that kind of, obviously a retirement, or a kind of, I'm gonna be with my girl and my kids and be in a farm in the middle of nowhere living some kind of cowboy libertarian dream thing kind of stuff. And this isn't entirely that. The trauma's pushed them more into going, we went here to heal our boy who passed, and now we are just raising this child. And, we're retired. We're not going to do the things, like, we're not engaging with the outside world or with life. We have the kind of spaceport where a ship comes by every week or two nearby, but that's it. Like, they're still wrapped in it, even if they are kind of finding happiness in some ways.
Yeah. I mean, God, I loved every time Riker referred to Kestra as the wild girl of the woods. Like, even if he's just humoring her, he is still like, this is how we honor, like, the memory of our son. And I liked the idea. One of the things I liked, the idea of Thaddeus having been born in space, never had a home world, so he built his own.
Yeah.
And I that was like these little bits I really liked.
Yeah, and again, that resonated quite nicely with Soji.
Yeah.
And the fact that, she's not from Earth, like, she has no home, but she has visions of a thing that could be home. And in Picard, a person that could be home.
To go to the B plot, I think you and I had a different reading, because I got the sense that Raffi knew that Jurati was like unintentionally or intentionally the one being trapped, and was trying to get her to playing nice to kind of get her to confess.
Maybe. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen this, so it'll be interesting to see if there is a kind of, oh yeah, Raffi was playing this.
Yeah.
But,
Although I
yeah.
liked when Rios suspects Raffi, and Raffi's like, "What are you gonna do? Throw me out into space?" And Rios is like, "I wouldn't like to."
Yeah.
I mean, I like these characters, but I feel like they get so underserved because they get very little time to properly develop.
They do, and there is that kind of a ragtag ensemble must only shout at each other, and that's talking. That's that kind of thing. It's like I don't know. It could be better, but yeah, I don't know. That said, would you eat William T Riker's pizza with Antarian basil, homegrown tomatoes, fresh bunnycorn sausage, non-venomous bunnycorn? So that bunny at the start, it's probably someone's pizza now.
Yes, I would.
See, again, I would need some kind of veggie substitute, but yeah, I could see that.
Like a nice stone baked, sounds lovely.
I mean, look, I am a fiend for pizza. I am always down for a pizza. But yeah. This would be out of them all. Like whatever veggie equivalent for the bunnycorn sausage. Like I've had veggie pepperoni pizza and things like that. I'm sure you could find some substitute. But yeah, this is probably the one that I would beeline to.
Gotcha.
Out of things, food offerings.
So, speaking of beelines, where would you beeline to put this on the big list?
Oh shit, that's a good point.
This is definitely the best Picard episode we've had to watch for the show.
Yes. God, I'm trying to find Picard, and I'm having to scroll down away.
Well, I think it's 139, The Impossible Box, the previous episode.
Yeah, and this is better than that.
Yeah, because honestly, this takes the time to let the story and the characters breathe, which sometimes gets lost in the huge kind of HBO. We have 10 episodes. Everything has to be wham bam, action, plot. Whereas honestly, you do just want to see Picard just hang out with Riker and Troy, and discuss trauma over pizza.
I think Michael Chabon did say at one point that he'd have quite liked if it could have been a bit more like that. And yeah, 100%. And I get the unfortunate instinct to go, this is a big prestige drama. It must be big film level world ending things and all that. But it doesn't.
It doesn't. Sometimes science fiction isn't about the big events. It's sometimes about the small events.
I'm going to lay out this challenge to see, is this the episode where it happens? Is this better or worse than number 50 on our list, Spock Amok? Which, if it is, would mean an episode of Picard and an episode of Enterprise go on our top 50.
I really don't know.
I really love Spock Amok. There are some great hijinks in it.
Yeah. Oh man. Again, it's also an example of the show slowing down to let the characters breathe, because the big drama is the hijinks.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Even looking above that, we've got 49's The Enemy, where Geordi gets stuck in a hole. We've got Taste of Armageddon.
I mean, okay, it's not gonna. This isn't gonna pass Taste of Armageddon, because Taste of Armageddon is honestly one of my favorite TOS episodes, where Kirk and Spock beam down to a planet. They find out that shit is whack, and their immediate reaction is, right, we're implementing regime change.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember watching it and getting a vibe from some of the Second Doctor episodes that I'd watched.
Yeah.
Of that kind of, yeah, well, fuck, we're going to have to We have to overhaul this whole thing.
It's like the thing I love about the Second Doctor is he's just such an anarchist of a character that he could be presented with like the most idyllic utopia. He will find the one person who doesn't think it's utopia and take their side because they're going to be right.
Okay, so it's not going to be better than Taste of Armageddon, which still means the enemy and Spock-a-mock, and like, I don't know, I think maybe as much as I like Spock-a-mock, like, even Elnor isn't annoying in this.
Like Elnor's in this for about 5 minutes, but but like it feels like he gets given a focus, he gets given a task, and he is now hyper focused.
Oh, the moment he goes from Hugh's death to finding the Fenris keyring, he is in Metal Gear Solid mode.
Yep.
I was watching him stealthing along, I was like, yes! I've never felt that for Elnor in anything.
I like Hugh's final lines like, yep, you have a hopeless cause. Good luck with that. Peace out.
Yeah, I think maybe this just beats Spock-a-mock.
Yeah, I mean...
it will not last in the top 50.
No.
But it's like one whole unit of good.
Is it as good as The Enemy? I'm not sure, because like the stuff that is great, like the bits that are great about The Enemy is Worf being asked to provide a donor for the Romulan they have, and every time he's just like, no. And like you have Riker and Picard who are both going, look, we could order you to do this, and if we ordered you, you would do it. But do you want to do this? No.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, and they're like, well, fuck. We have to respect him. And it's just like, damn, that's and the fact that the prisoner still dies.
Yes.
And there's no like last minute kind of Worf changes his mind.
I love that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so new number 50. Mark it down. Banner Day. Enterprise and Picard have an episode each in the top 50. Again, this will not last.
Now,
I'm very happy for them both.
I mean,
I don't think I thought it could be done.
I mean, we still don't have a Prodigy in the top 50.
We've got a lot of Prodigy ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean, we got a ton of Strange. We got Strange New Worlds. We got everything, but just like, yeah.
Yep.
This list be top heavy.
It is. And yeah, now, I don't know about you, but this has worked up an appetite.
Oh, God.
So,
well, it is lunchtime for me and dinner time for you.
Oh, yeah. So, on that note, we're going off to enjoy respective meals. And next time, we're going back to the holodeck for some virtual shenanigans. So, yeah, you know that machine's going to fuck up and it's going to be fun. So, yeah, Miles, where can the good folks find us if they want to know more about Casual Trek?
Well, they can find us on our Blue Sky account, which is casualtrek.bsky.social. They can find me on my occasionally updated blog at mareedlobato.wordpress.com or my occasionally used Blue Sky account at milesreedlobato.bsky.social. And Charlie, what about you?
Well, people can find me on skyshark.itch.io, both the webpage for my RPG and comic work, and that's also the account for my Blue Sky. So you can see me there at skyshark.itch.io. And with that, go to a Starfleet, prepare yourself a nice meal, and chokeslam Neelix. Just because it's fun.
And live long and have a jelly baby, but not as a full meal, as like a nice little snacky treat.
Of course,
you
deserve it.
Yeah, you need a little sugar rush before you choke slam Neelix.
Damn straight.
You have been listening to Casual Trek, a Nerd and High podcast, presented by Charlie Etheridge Nunn and Miles Reed Lobato. Music by Alfred Etheridge Nunn. Star Trek by Paramount. Not us. Not yet.